Hey, so when we were in Shimla to test ride Royal Enfield's new Himalayan, we were also testing some other Royal Enfield products like this new jacket from Royal Enfield. It's called the Royal Enfield Darcha. It's actually very good and no surprises, it's made by a Dutch brand called Revit. They make some really good gear and we're going to tell you what makes it really cool. I've got my colleague here, Animesh, to test it out for me while I talk about it, and I'm sure he's very comfy in it right now because he's in 3 layers of the jacket. Well, yes, that's because this is an all-season, all-year-round jacket. So it's got lining for heat, it's got protection from water, and of course it can also be used in the summer. Well, that's the argument that it presents, but how well does it fare? We're going to talk about that. We did get to use it in the cold, in the rain, but when we came back to Maharashtra in Pune in 36 degrees plus, we tested it there as well. So we're going to tell you all about that. So what did we learn? Well, in all these years of riding in our Indian conditions, this is the first jacket that actually kept me dry in a proper Indian downpour. Serious. I've tried jackets with liners, I've tried jackets with liners which are also waterproof jackets with a raincoat on top, and nothing ever worked really. Some amount of water would get in, but this worked throughout and we spent an entire day out in rain and snow. Here's why. It's got a Denier 600 outer shell, and along with that there's some really nice design touches which help it work to keep the rain and the wind out. For instance, if you look at the main section here where everything zips up, you can see that you have this Velcro patch on the outside. It's got a reverse turn to the entire seam here to keep the wind and the rain out, and then under that you have the main zip. So this creates a very effective barrier from water and wind. And then when you get on the inside, you realize you have 2 more layers. Now this is the outer layer, which is your rain protection, and then under that is your thermal layer, which also has a pocket on the inside. So very handy stuff here. So it all works to keep you dry and warm, and we spend an entire day in it, no problems at all. Now the cool thing is all those liners are really very easy to remove. I kid you not, on most jackets you have to really pay a lot of attention, struggle with the clasps and the zips to get the liners out or in. On this Revit jacket it's very easy. There's zips here, there are clasps here at the back of the collar here, which are just very easy to undo, and in the sleeves there are color matched loops which just make it very easy. I mean, we'll show you the shots there, which are red in color for the red loops, so it makes it very easy to get them in and out. And that really, we did try it out when we got to Pune. In the hotter climates, we got both the liners out, and then we were using this jacket. And the reason why you can continue to use the jacket even in the hotter climates is because it's ventilated. This is how, you can see here, there are 4 zips which act as ventilation inlets. So that's here 2 at the front on both sides, and then there are 2 on the arms. You can see this is a reverse zip. This is to do it up. Well, this is when it's done up, and then you have this. When you're feeling hot, you zip down, you have airflow going up your arms here. So same thing on this side, and then if you just turn around, I'll show you. At the back you have 2 exits. So here you have, these are again zips, so you can do them up for cold weather or down for when it's hot, when you're using the ventilation at the front. So it keeps the airflow going. You can turn around, man. And you can keep the airflow going. What happens is that it keeps you cool, fairly comfy, not as cool and comfy as a full mesh jacket of course, but still you can use this even in the hot weather, and I think it's comfy enough to actually be used for people who are doing touring even in hot weather. Now of course this is a motorcycle jacket, so of course it has to have armor, and it does, and it's pretty well designed on that front as well. You can see here for the elbows there's a different material used which is meant for better abrasion resistance. On the inside you get Nox armor for the elbow and for the shoulders, and the back you have a Sastec back protector as standard. Now coming to the storage, there's really a lot going on over here. You've got 6 pockets that you can use. First and foremost, you've got these 4 major pockets here, again very smartly designed. As you can see, as Animesh opens them, they've got these reverse down flaps with Velcro to lock them down, and apart from that, these large buttons which make it easy to use even with your gloves on. So once you button them down, there's no water that's going to go in, and fairly deep, and you have another set of pockets down here. There is one very deep pocket here. It's with just a zip, so very easy to access. You can keep stuff there. And that aside, a really nice touch is that here behind these pockets there's small little cutouts for you to put your hands in, so in cold weather you can keep your hands warm. So that's really nice. And then finally there is the sixth pocket, which is the big one. It's out at the back here, and this can take up a lot of stuff here. Now finally, when it comes to fit, when you try on your all-weather jacket, be sure to try it on with all the liners on, because when I tried this jacket on, it felt quite snug. I mean, it felt just right for me with all the layers on. So if you end up trying one without the layers on and find it snug, eventually when you put in the warm layers or the rain protective layer, it will feel too snug. It might be too tight for you to actually wear it. So it's best to try it on with all those layers on. And eventually when I tried it in the hot weather without the layers, it felt a bit loose. But then you have these adjustments here at the bicep to tighten up the fit. Similarly here on the forearm as well. And along with that, there's this really nice clasp at the neck, 5-step clasp to get the right level of tightness here as well. And on the inside, really nice soft fabric to keep it comfy as well. And to tighten the fit at the waist, you have this belt here with a single buckle, so you can make it snug once again once you have all the liners off. So first impressions of the Darcha are quite high. If there's any critique, it's like with all the layers on, it does feel quite heavy. But that aside, I think it's really a great jacket. One jacket that can do a lot, but if you're going to be using this only in hot weather, it might not be the right jacket for you. That having been said, when it comes to the price, it's priced at about 22,000 rupees, and yes, that's a lot of money. And we've done a little bit of homework, and Revit make a jacket that's virtually identical to this called the Outback, and that sells for about 20,000 rupees in international markets. So RE have managed to bring a really good jacket here to the Indian market at a pretty good price point. I think when you consider all that it has to offer, all the wide abilities that it can offer in terms of handling cold weather, rain, even can be used in the summer a fair bit, I think it's really a good all-rounder jacket. Yes, it's expensive, but then in our books we found that when it comes to gear, spend as much as you can, get the best that you can, because it just makes every ride that much better.